Ishtapurtam manyamanaha varishtam nanyachrayo vedayante pramodha nakasya prashthe tu sukrute anubhutave man lokam hinataram vamishanti. These deluded ones, they say men here, please, it includes women also. These deluded men, regarding sacrifices and works of merits as the most important, do not know any other good. Having enjoyed in the place of heaven won by good deeds, they again come back to this earth with a body that grows old and dies. Now, there's a beautiful description. But, but those who practice austerity and faith in the forest, the tranquil knowers who live a simple life, depart freed from sin to where dwells the immortal, imperishable person. So, the contrast is between those who are only interested in this and those who live quietly in the forest, contemplating on the inner essence, a simple life. The tranquil knowers who live a simple life, they depart freed from all sin into that immortal, imperishable person. So, having scrutinized the worlds won by works, of course you can win many worlds by work, by doing various things. If you work hard, you can make millions, or if you work hard in this mystic field, you can reach high levels of higher worlds and see beings and so on and so forth, but that's not the answer. So they're saying, having scrutinized the worlds won by work, let a wise man arrive at non-attachment. After seeing all this and saying, hey, this doesn't seem to work. Somebody is happy with me only as long as I give them money, or keep saying every day, I love you, I love you. I don't know why people don't get tired. Anyway, so when one sees this carefully and decides that this is nonsense, it doesn't work. Nobody really doesn't love anybody else. These are no outside expressions. And seeing the suffering of the world and how we are also part of it. And also seeing how it all ends. Very interesting to note, we are actually not so much afraid of death as the fear that you will have to leave everything that you love. If somebody guarantees you, hey, you're going to die tomorrow, but you can take everything you want. Please, I'm not talking about young lovers. Some people are looking very distraught. Suppose somebody guarantees, when you die, you're going to die in a week, but don't worry, you can take your house, you can take your car, you can take your wife, everything. Who's afraid of death? So it's not so much a death, we don't know anything about it. So if you don't know something, you're not afraid of it. It's the fear that you have to leave behind. Unfortunately, we have to. So, before that happens, the Upanishad says, can you leave it behind, at least in your mind, and say, this is not going to stand me in good stead in the end. Can I find something, if there is something in me which is eternal and immortal? If. And having seen this impermanent world and becoming non-attached to it, for the sake of the real knowledge, let him approach a teacher who is learned in the scriptures and established in the Supreme Brahman. So, having got fed up with everything, let him approach a teacher who was learned in the scriptures and has reached the Brahman. Why learned in the scriptures? He could have said simply one who has reached the Supreme Brahman. Because the scriptures are there, which are methods, they teach you the methods to impart the knowledge of the Brahman. You may know it, you may not even know how to impart it. There have been cases of great yogis who have reached that and who refused to teach and remained in silence. But there's one thing, if you really reached, and have attained that silence, even if you sit silently with a person, you do get something out of it, without words. Even if you explain by words, you're explaining something which cannot be explained by words. So it is in the silence, you know. Yeah, Ramana Maharshi is a contemporary known person in this respect. I want to say something, I don't know whether I should say it. There's a little boy also there. Young people are also here. So. What should I do? Because it's very similar to what is being said, but in the world, in the world of human beings, world, physical world. You know, when two people are intimate with each other, I'm going to put it in very flowery language. When two people are intimate with each other physically, and then the whole process, whatever, I'm trying, mystical words, language, and there is physical coming together of the two. So there's a lot of noise first, you know, all that. In the end, utter silence. You cannot even think for a second. Everything is gone. Because you think afterwards. Sometimes I wonder if this whole thing, the drama, is to reach that completely thoughtless stage, even for a minute. Almost thoughtless. Only awareness. No words. Can you describe it? No. That if this can happen in the physical world, in a lower level, what about up there? You're speechless. So, unto him who has approached the teacher, whose mind is tranquil, and who has attained peace, let the teacher, knowing teacher, which means a teacher who is able to understand the mind of the seeker, teach its very truth, that knowledge about the Supreme Brahman, by which one knows the imperishable person, the true. It is described as Ena Aksharam Purusham, Veda Satyam, that indescribable person, the imperishable one, the true. Now, again, the next sloka says, Tad etat satyam, this is the truth. As from a blazing fire, sparks of life form, issue forth by the thousands. Even so, beloved, many kinds of things issue forth from an immutable being, and they return finally back. Just as in a blazing fire, This innumerable sparks come out and then they go away back in there, and there's nothing but the fire. In the same way, from that immutable being who is the blazing fire come these sparks which we call the living beings, and in the end they disappear and there is only the blazing fire that remains. It's a nice metaphor. So the challenge is to know that you're not just the spark but the blazing fire, really. Divyo hi amurtam purushaha sabhahyapyantaro hi ajaha aprano hi amanaha subhro aksharat paratah paraha. Divine and formless is that person. Please note that there's a person, not thing. Thing then becomes inanimate. Right? So the Supreme Reality is not an inanimate something, it's a person. But not a person as we think. Something beyond. So, divine and formless is the person. He is without and within, unborn, without breath, without mind, pure and higher than the highest immutable. Too many words used. Because the Rishi is trying to capture something which can't be uttered. He is trying to form as many words as possible to try to explain it. There's another Upanishad which also defines the Supreme Person, the being, as saying, Tad dure, tad vadantike, it's far and yet it is near. Now this cannot be. Either you are far or you are near. So it has to be something which is all pervading. Isha vashyamidam sarvam. And how does one get there? When all grasping has ceased. Even in meditation, all grasping has ceased. And you are settled in your pure form, tranquil, without movement, then perhaps it is revealed. I said perhaps.